Hello and welcome to Sci-Fi-Night Light, where I talk about random topics that somehow relate to sci-fi and horror. So, mid-May, us sci-fi fans will finally be treated to another installment of an Alien universe with the release of Alien Covenant, a new entry that connects the overarching Alien universe, so of course we're going to do a mini-series on it. This is one of the most respected sci-fi horror franchises in existence, and with good reason. The Alien series has produced some of the best sci-fi horror ever, and on the flip side, quite possibly some of the worst.
Fuck you!
So, what is it that made this series so memorable? Well, for as great a protagonist as Ripley is, and as interesting that the movie world and speculative science is, I'd say it's the antagonist that steals the show here. The xenomorph itself is flat out groundbreaking, truly the stuff of nightmares, the kind of nightmare that sticks with you for years. So, what exactly is it that makes the xenomorph and the Alien movies so scary? Well, I'd say it's for a variety of reasons, but they're all a little bit similar. Let's start with the most superficial, the design. So, it's impossible to talk about the look and design of the Alien movies without talking about artist H.R. Giger. Yes, I know I mispronounced his name, but I don't care. Anyway, this Swiss artist is the one responsible for the truly otherworldly, terrifying, and perverse look of a monster. The last part is something we'll get back to later.
I think Giger has an extra quality of, I think one of the most frightening things of all is a quality of reality, combined with a sort of his own form of fantasy.
The fact that the xenomorph has several stages of development, and is not just the same organism, is part of it. We get to see the entire life cycle of this beast, and every stage is horrible.
Damn, nature! You scary!
So, let's start with the egg, which is gross and slimy looking enough to not want it as a decoration in your apartment, but when we get closer, it opens up, leaving a rather strange and grossly perverted opening, luring in the prey, and BAM! From the egg springs the facehugger, which forcibly latches onto your face and lays eggs inside you, while looking like some messed up alien hand on the rough side, and the softer underside is once more kind of pervertedly sexual looking. Again, looking like a nightmarish reconstruction of a sex organ. Once the egg has gestated inside its very much alive host, it's time for the show-stealing act, the birth. The third stage of the alien evolution is the chest burster, and once again, it's kind of perverted as the little beast forcibly works its way out of your stomach, through your chest, and into a terrified, screaming, and most likely blood-covered world. After some serious steroid-style growth, the chestburster matures into the final form, the full-grown xenomorph, and once again, it is truly nightmarish stuff. Black like its soul, a strange biomechanical design making it hard to really understand biologically, purposely making it even further apart from the nature and animals we're used to, even lacking eyes to give it a look that is truly alien to us, no pun intended. Of course, standard scary points are given for the sharp claws and teeth, the acid blood, and overall skeletal looking body of this beast, as well as the strangely cocoon-like head. Xenomorph not having any eyes makes it that much harder to read and understand in regards to what its intentions are. I mean, in this regard, even the Predator can be seen as more sympathetic because A, it's more humanoid, making it more relatable to us, and B, it's got an actual face. Faces go a long way in terms of getting us to sympathize, you know.
Shit happens.
There's no risk of seeing a somewhat innocent animal look because all that's in its face is a double set of razor-sharp teeth. Take King Kong or Godzilla, huge destructive animals, but in some ways we can kind of feel sorry for them. That is not the case here. The overall design of all the stages are deliberately strange and gross, and this brings us to something I touched on before, the perverse sexual aspect. So from the very start, with a facehugger latching onto its victim, what does it do? It forcibly impregnates a host, latching on and penetrating its victim by planting an egg inside the person, and holding them until the inevitable birth of his hellish little spawn. The chest burster is very phallic, and let's face it, it looks like an angry, screaming alien dick. That's pretty damn terrifying if you ask me. So we have a victim first being penetrated by the facehugger, then by the chest burster, and the themes of violation, forced impregnation, and being held against your will, super dark and oppressive themes that would be scary on their own. But when done by a hideous alien beast, it's the stuff that makes you as crazy as an H.P. Lovecraft protagonist. The alien's final form doesn't shy away from the similar dark and violating themes of the previous ones. First, we gotta talk about that mouth within a mouth thing. Again, it's super perverse. We've got phallic stuff coming out of orifices and creating new holes in people's faces, and it's all very creepy, gross, and unsettling. Also, the sneaky nature of a beast, lingering in the darkness and staying hidden is one thing, but the fact that it actually drools when approaching its victims, mouth-watering in an almost sexual way, is super creepy, and it almost makes us see this as less of an animal and more of an intelligent, perverted, and sadistic being. This is why I love the xenomorph in Alien so much more than those in Aliens. The ones in the sequel were more insect-like, working like a swarm controlled by the queen. The xenomorph in Alien is almost like some kind of fucked up outer space serial killer, toying with and teasing its victims.
Move! Get out of there! Don't you move! Down! Move down! Move down! Get out! Oh. No, not that way! The other way! God! Dallas?
It's this combination of creepy, unearthly strangeness, otherworldly appearance, and perverse sexual undertones that make this a truly gruesome monster. Iconic, unique, terrifying, this is something much more than a beast because it almost seems to enjoy it. There's so much perversion involved for this to be completely innocent. And the only thing scarier than an unstoppable, hideous monster is an unstoppable, hideous monster that takes a twisted pleasure in the horrible things it does. It truly doesn't get much scarier than that. So that about does it for this first installment of the Alien miniseries. We hope you enjoyed it. And what do you think is most scary about the xenomorph? Let us know in the comments below. I'm your host, Sebastian Mendel Martinez, and I'm signing out.
Paralyzes him, puts him in a coma. And keeps him alive. Now, what the hell is that?